welcome back everyone for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new comic books you should be aware of before you go to your shops for this Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. I'm going to give you a rundown on all the books on my pull list, some variants to keep an eye out for, things that might just be a surprise, some later printings, basically everything you need to know in a rundown format just to get you ready before you go to your shop this Wednesday. Hopefully you're enjoying this show as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's selection of books, just hang up for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, let's start it off with my pull list. This is my top of the pile type stuff, the books I can't wait to get a hold of and get to reading this Wednesday when I grab my new books. So to kick us off here, we are going to start over on the DC side of things with one of my favorite Absolute titles, Absolute Flash, issue 4. Continuing on Wally's story here. Like I said, this one has been a surprise to me as being one of my favorites for the Absolute series, but it's one I'm just looking forward to. So with that, we've got a cover A, we've got a B cover here that you can go and get. If you don't like this, there's a C cover option here as well. And if you want to go the incentive route, we do have a 1 in 25 as well as a 1 in 50, which is this open order cover, but with minimal changes. I don't know why DC continues to do that with the limited trade dress. If anything, make the 1 in 50 the cover A, which has a lot more trade dress, so it's a bigger difference when you actually make it a virgin as opposed to this. But with that said, that's my DC top of the pile type stuff. But outside of that, I am really looking forward to the next installment of Exquisite Corpses. This was an interesting read, a fun read. Granted, it seemed long because, well, it was an oversized first issue. Setting up this world and these events and everything. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these killers, etc. Interesting story. I'm down for more. This is cover A. Obviously, pick this one up if you want this one. We've got other options here with some B covers. You got a little bit of negative space action. We got another Virgin here with Tula Lote if you want to go that route. And then there is the polybag version, which will have another one of those game cards inside of this included. So make sure you get that if you want to try to play this card game that they're kind of building out with this comic series. But this is the, the polybag version that'll have a card. There are secret foil editions, I believe, still, like the first issue. You won't know what you're going to get, and there's no real way to cheat the way that they have these things polybag. So luck be on your side, I guess. We do have incentives. We have a 1 in 25 option here featuring another one of the killers, as well as a 1 in 50 here as well, which is pretty cool. I do like this cover. And then we do have, just like the first issue, a secret thank you edition going out to shops. So this is going to be a foil edition of that cover A, which is going to be a little bit shiny foil. And again, one per storage kind of a release. So if you got a nice relationship with your LCS owner, maybe you can get this for a decent price. Otherwise, this could get a little pricey like the first one did. But with that said, I'm just looking forward to reading the thing. So I am getting the trading card set or the trading card edition. But outside of that, any of the other covers would do for me personally. Now, speaking of polybags, we are here with the second issue of Battle Beast, but no more blind bags. No more polybags here, just the regular issue. And hey, we've seen this before because there was a preview edition given away in those blind bags for issue 1. This is issue 2 of Battle Beast. And yeah, going to keep going with the story. So I'm still on board for now to see where Battle Beast is going to go. And we got a couple options here with a cover A. We got a cover B. We've got a few incentives as well. Not as many as the first issue and not as many covers with the blind bag, but we do have a 1 in 10. We do have a 1 in 25. And we do have a 1 in 50. And yes, we do actually have a 1 in 100 here as well, if you want to go that route, which is a pretty cool cover. It looks like a He-Man figure. I don't know. It's kind of fun. But that said, I'm fine with any of the A and B covers. I can't remember which one I ordered, but just going to get the open order stuff just so I can read this story. That said, Bug Wars is also coming out with I don't know if there's one more after this before the story arc is over, but Bug Wars issue 5 out this week. 2 covers here. You got a cover A. You got to cover B. Pick whichever one you like. I think I'm just going to go with the A personally. And again, this is a fun story that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting anything out of Bug Wars, but after the first few issues, I was kind of hooked on this. So it's a pretty good read. With that said, we're just getting to the second issue here of Blood and Thunder. Looking forward to a little bit more of this. I also like all these covers here. They're kind of fun. So we got a little bit of the story continuing here with the cover A. We got a cover B option as well. Looks like one of those Rathars from Force Awakens. And then we do have a 1 in 10, which I really do like a lot. Something about her hair just kind of floating, flying, looks almost like Starfire's flame. I just dig it. And then with the cup of coffee with the steam kind of mirroring her hair, is kind of a cool look. And then you have like the trade dress kind of blending in with the background. I also like when that happens too on covers personally. But this is the 1 in 10. There is still a 1 in 25 if you want to go that route. But I think the 1 in 10 is my favorite. Yes, nice reflection there of that creature in the helmet. But I still think the 1 in 10 is my favorite for this. But I'm fine with the A or B. Next up, we have the Energon universe. You guys know G.I. Joe, Transformers. That's my wheelhouse. So definitely on board for this. And it looks like Baroness is on her way out here. Figured it couldn't be, had to be coming sooner rather than later, right? Where the story was going to go. But here's issue 8, cover A. We got a cover B option as well as a couple others. Here we have the connecting cover for the 2-year anniversary of the Energon universe, where they're going to kind of include all the characters. You see, we got some G.I. Joes, we got some Transformers, etc. We'll have the Void Rivals mixed in. There's color editions as well as black and white version as well. These things will connect. We did get the Transformers cover last week. Now we got the G.I. Joe cover, but upon looking at the two of them, these two don't connect. So I think Void Rivals is probably in between them. So we'll have to wait till the Void Rivals comes out before we can see that connecting cover set. So with that said, we'll wait on that, and I'll show you when it's all done. But we do have incentives. So with this, we do have a 1 in 10, also a connecting cover set. So let's look at this connector here on the 1 in 10 by Alan Qua, I believe. I do like this desktop kind of look here. We go with all the pictures and some weapons and little pieces, compasses and bullets, etc. Just a fun look. But here we go. 1, 2. And this will continue on for the rest of the arc. I don't know how many more are in this arc, but here are the first 2. I'll fill it out once we have all of them. There is also a 1 in 25 featuring Major Blood. Got a cool there. I already gave up on trying to get all of these, the G.I. Joe, like the explosion bursts, just like the card backs on the old action figures. Just couldn't keep up with getting 1 in 25s over and over and over again, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and just don't need it for everything. So I gave up after the first couple. Unfortunately, I did get it through the other miniseries, though. So there was a lot of 1 in 25s I invested in just to have them. Because, again, I shouldn't say invested in. I just wanted them for my collection. But with that said, I knew when enough was enough. Not getting this one personally. With that, there is also higher ratios if you want to go that route. We do have a 1 in 50 option here, as well as a 1 in 100 foil. So you can go that way if you want to go. I'm fine, again, with an open order cover and just reading the thing, because that's mostly what I'm looking forward to here. Now, Spider-Man still rolling on, still on board with the new series. I don't like the fact that it's coming out every 2 weeks, but hey, it is what it is. We just need to slow down a little bit. That said, I am not a fan of this JR cover. It's just meh. It just looks, I don't know, it's just not for me. But we have this option. If you want to go that route, Legacy issue 970, 30 away from 1,000. That's why they keep double shipping these things, so they can get to that 1,000 mark quicker and quicker. But I'd probably grab one of these other covers before this cover A, personally. Like this Black Cat cover's not bad. Kind of like this one. Even the Bagley on his own is a better cover, in my opinion. And then we got a 1 in 10 design cover here. If you want to go this with Hellgate, that new character. And then one of my favorites of this week, I just dig this, I don't know, Damian Scott's rendition here. It just has like a kind of bubble graffiti kind of vibe to it. I just really like it. I don't know why, but I do. So I really like this rendition here of Spider-Man. Just kind of fun. With that said, that's the 1 in 25. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which is unfortunately a version of that mediocre cover. So if you're into it and you want to go buy a 1 in 100 of it, I mean, God bless you. But I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. But with that said, let's move it on over to another Marvel title that I'm enjoying, and that's Psylocke. We're 8 issues in, and I'm still on board. I'm surprised I haven't lost interest in this storyline yet, but I do still like it. Creepy cover A here, not too bad. We do have a B cover option here, which is really nice. I like this Puppeteer Lee with the flowers, the blossoms. It's just, kind of a cool look and kind of a cool color palette with the purples and the pinks. I just kind of dig it. And it even works as a 1 in 50 virgin, but I do kind of like how it's interplaying here with the trade dress, with the colors and I'm fine with the trade dress is my point. I don't need to spend up to get the 1 in 50, but there is a 1 in 50 option if you want to go that route. And it does also look pretty nice. It is a nice cover still, but it's just, I'm not willing to pay those extra premium prices for those higher ratios personally. But you do what you got to do, right? With that said, if you haven't tried Whatnot yet, I want to remind any of you out there, use my link down below to sign up and give it a try and get yourselves a free $15 on your first purchase for giving it a try. You help out the channel, you get yourself something nice for 15 bucks, no strings attached, spend it on whatever you want with whomever you want. So 15 bucks just for signing up and giving it a try. Now, we're going to get on to the recommendation portion of the show. Before we get into all the other rundown stuff, we're going to get into the recommendations. And for viewer recommends this week, I'm going to go back to a comment from a few weeks ago. And this one came to us from, I think was it Brian? Right. Yep. Oh, there it is. Brian Hayes gave us this. Mad Cave giving us this early 20th century serial killer book. This is still on shelves. The first issue came out in May. The second issue came out, I believe, on June 4th. So just like 2 weeks ago. Third issue is not due until the middle of July, so you could play catch up because this is still on shelves. So if you go to your shop, you want a good read, I checked this out, and I gotta admit, it's not a bad read if you're kind of into that thing. It is kind of a period piece, so this does take place in the early 1900s. The story of a woman who's murdering her husbands, but then they put sort of a fantasy spin on it, which was kind of interesting. So I don't know, I dig it. I kind of like it. I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks for the recommendation because I actually did like this. And I probably wasn't going to read it without that recommendation because I think I just let it slip by and I wasn't going to get around to it. But I checked it out and I liked it. And now I want to see where this thing's going and kind of finish up this mini series from Mad Cave. So if you want something interesting to read and you're looking for something new, here's a recommendation for you. Thanks to Brian. So Brian Hayes, thanks for this one. Still on shelves, 1 and 2. This is cover A. There's a B cover as well on number 1. Number 2 just has 1 cover. So there you go. Pretty cool book. Now, with that said, the last few weeks, I've also been giving you recommendations, but I've been giving you recommendations of books that I hadn't read yet because there were new releases, like The Death of Silver Surfer, which thankfully was still good, and Imperial, which was one of the best things I've read in a while. So those were kind of a blind pick. Without me reading them, I was just kind of hoping and guessing that they were going to be good. So for now, unless I actually have something that I've read or a series that I've read that I want to recommend to you, I'm going to pivot this. We're going to pivot this segment and rebrand it, or at least change it until I have something else to recommend to blind picks. So that's what this is, because that's what I've done the last few weeks, is on a blind, going to try something and recommend that you guys try it too, because the setup sounds good. And I figured, you know what? Let's just give it a try. So blind pick this week. I was looking through the list of books, trying to figure out what would work and what would kind of fit this thing best. And I came up with this title here. May not be for everybody. A lot of, I make fun of the little text boxes that are kind of explaining the book, and there's too much there. I said, well, you're explaining too much of the story. I don't need all that. But this book, it actually sold me because of all the words. Benjamin, coming out of Oni, has this kind of weird kind of throwback vibe. Basically, in a nutshell, a sci-fi writer dies, comes back in the future, and is trying to figure things out. So it deals with a lot of meta stuff. The guy apparently has been through and written about all these things before, wondering if he's a robot or if he's some sort of clone or if he's a ghost or all these other crazy things. Is this a simulation? What's going on? It sounds interesting. And I kind of like the idea of the novelist and then working through it in a future time setting. To me, it just sounds interesting. So I'm going to check this out and see what we think. So this is my blind pick for the week. Benjamin, this is the Christian Ward cover A. There are a couple other covers that I kind of like. I'm probably going to grab this B cover here because it has that old sci-fi paperback kind of vibe, like with the cover. I kind of like that. Even the C cover still has that similar kind of taste. This more looks like a dust jacket on a hardcover as opposed to the other one being a paperback. And then we do have a virgin version of that cover A, which is our 1 in 10. So it's still an easy to qualify for ratio, but I'm not worried about ratio variance here. I just want to read this thing because it sounds interesting, this mini series. So blind pick, going to try and recommend that you guys try it too because it sounds interesting, and let's hope it's good. Now, outside of that, I'm also recommending to myself to give a taste test. This is where it might be a title or a new title coming out, kind of like that. I mean, that's kind of a taste test, the blind pick, but I think that one's going to be good. This is more of a, we'll see if I'm going to like this at all, or hey, maybe I'll also jump back into an old series that I haven't read in a while, kind of thing. So that's the angle I'm going for it with this week, since we just did a new #1 with the blind pick. This is going to be an ongoing series that I'm going to dip back in and see where we're going from here. But before we get to the new pick, let's look at what I had as a taste test last week, which was a new book, and that was one of those new EC horror kind of throwbacks. This was being Blood Type, which is sort of a spin-off series. It's not an anthology. When I picked this up, I thought it was going to be an anthology, but this is just a single-issue storyline featuring this vampire. Was it Anna, I think her name was? It's a good read. I did enjoy this. Looking forward to more of this and looking for more of these sort of EC horror books or EC kind of vibes, sci-fi kind of vibe, books coming out of here. So with that said, Blood Type was good. This week, I'm going to go back and check out Catwoman. I know every month, and I keep pointing out the Catwoman covers, but not actually reading the book. Here, just kind of curious where we're at. Like, what's going on with Catwoman? Let's see what's going on with this kind of international spy kind of vibe it seems to have from what I gather, but I haven't read it in a while. So, going to dip in here with issue 77 to see if it's actually a good read or not. So, with that, we've got a cover A, which ain't bad. We do have it again. We usually cover it just for the covers. The Cho's, always good to get those Frank Cho covers. Then we have another one of my favorite, Dan Panosian, back doing some more Catwoman covers here. I like that, as well as the 1 in 25, which ain't bad here either. And then we do have a 1 in 50, which again, it's a little less trade dress than the open order cover for this 1 in 50, but seriously, it's not that much different. I mean, you look, it's really, what's the difference? So if you want to go and invest in the 1 in 50, go ahead. But to me, just get that regular Cho cover and you'll be fine. It's the same thing. But with that said, before we move on to the other segments of the show, also, any of you out there who need supplies, you need bags, you need boards, long boxes, short boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders for your comics or your cards, basically anything to keep your comics or collectibles safe. There's probably a product over at BCW, and use my code RENA10 to save 10% off your entire order. It's 10% off of everything that you order using just that code RENA10, because you help out the channel by using the code, plus you get a discount. So again, what do you got to lose? If you're buying the stuff anyway, might as well save some money while you do it. Now, with that said, and speaking of things you just got to do anyway, let's go with Writing It Out. These are those titles that I'm going to keep collecting no matter what. I'm either going to keep the runs going on my ongoing series or the mini series I want to finish story arcs, etc. I might be behind on reading some of these, but no matter what, I'm still going to be picking them up. So still technically part of the pull list, but these are titles that I'm a little bit more behind on. So that's why it has its separate section here in Writing It Out. Starting off with our first book, which is Batman and Robin Year One. I told you I'm just seeing this this maxi series through until it finishes. I think it's like 12 issues or so. I'm a few behind. I think I'm up to maybe issue 4. So I got like a whole nother arc to go. A lot of catching up to do, but still, I'm on board for this. You got Samney, it's Wade. I'm confident in the creative team that at the end of the day, it's going to be good. So even though I'm not up to date, I'm still going to be getting these. A cover, B cover option here as well. I like this Michael Cho. Then we got a C cover here as well. And then we do have a 1 in 25 option if you want to go that route. Like I said, I'm probably going to go with the Cho, personally. Also, a little bit behind on reading my Detective. So, Detective Comics, issue 1098 coming out. Tom Taylor doing his run here. This is cover A. I do kind of like cover B a lot here, just with that almost near silhouette face. If you look at it more closely, you can see more the makeup on the mask and whatever. It's not just eyes and teeth, but I do like it nonetheless. And that's probably going to be the cover I grab for this one. But then we do have this C cover here. Also, not bad. And a 1 in 25 by Ashley Wood, which, again, is pretty cool. I don't know. I like Ashley. If you like Ashley Wood style, he's done some good covers. I like these. So, but I'm not getting 1 in 25. So I'm just going to get an open order book. So if it was an open order cover, I might grab it. But since it's the 1 in 25, I'm probably going to leave it there. Because, again, don't want to pay those extra bucks for that. Also, just going to ride out the rest of New Gods. I told you, at this point, we're like halfway through. We're just going to see it through to the end. So with that, Ram V, counting on you. I got to catch up again reading this, but here's issue 7. Going to keep reading the New Gods. 3 cover options, all open order. So I'm probably going A. B is not bad. I think this is a Dan Mora. And you know how well Dan Mora books have been doing on certain titles lately. So keep an eye on things like that. And then there's a C cover option here as well if you want to go that route, which is probably my least favorite. I'd go A or B if for this book would be my recommendation. Also, I'm only like an issue behind on this because we're only at issue 3. I just haven't got to 2 yet. This is I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, but interesting story. I'm on board just to see it through. I think it's only gonna be like 5 or 6 issues, so it's got me hooked enough that I'm gonna read this whole thing. With that said, we got a cover A here. And then we've got cover B, which is going to be the homage to a magazine cover or something along those lines, fashion related. This is the magazine cover in question here. I think it's Emma Corrin on the cover of Interview. You can see here. Pretty well done what they did. So I didn't know this one off the top of my head, just like I didn't know the Beyonce. I knew the Janet Jackson one, but these last 2, I'm not a fashion guy. I don't know this stuff, but it's still kind of fun to see once you actually match it up. I do like the 1 in 10 here, though. Just something creepy about her in the tub of blood. I just kind of dig it. So this is the 1 in 10. I like it, and yeah, I'd consider getting this one. With that said, because again, 1 in 10s, I don't mind because 1 in 10s you can sometimes find for like $8. I'm not too worried about spending $8 on a $4 or $5 book anyway. So if it's a cover I like, I might jump at that kind of price. With that said, I'm behind on my I Heart Skull Crusher, but like I said, enjoy the first arc. Still trying to get up to date on the second arc. Issue 10 here, continuing on. So I'm just going to keep getting them. I think I got the B cover on this one, which I think is a little bit better. More anime kind of vibe here. Then we have the Incentive and a Virgin version. So I think the one was an unlockable Virgin version, and the other one is the 1 in 10 Incentive. So they just had to order enough to qualify to get the one version and then the 1 in 10 on the other. So those are out there. Also, Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu. I'm a little behind on reading this, just like an issue or so, this Asgardian villain that we've got here. So Achilles Fairchild, that's what's his name. But this is a pretty cool cover. I like this. Looking forward to catching up and reading this. This is issue 9, cover A. There is a cover B here as well. And I think we got another one, but it's going to end up in one of those themed variant segments later, because if you don't see a cover covered here, it's probably going to be in a later segment covering one of the themes of the month, because you know Marvel loves to run multiples, as does DC. Both of them do it a lot. But with that said, let's keep it going. X-Men, we have another issue coming out, issue 18. I like this cover A. You got the trade dress. Again, I'm a sucker for when the trade dress is in play with the art. So trade dress getting mussed around, I like it. We also have a B cover option, which is also really cool, with magic on this bloody skull. I'm on board for this as well. I like the little X in the eye on the skull too. Nice little touch. We also have a C cover option, which is featuring these new X-Men. What are they, like 3K or whatever the heck they're called? So we got the last 2, I think. So there you go. And then we got a 1 in 25 Beast, which is, it's all right. If you like Beast, you're a Beast fan. It's a good Beast cover. And then we do have a Virgin version of that magic for the 1 in 50. Again, I'm fine with the trade dress here, but it's a nice version as well. Now, with that said, we're going to move on to On the Fence. Now, these are titles where I may or may not continue to keep picking them up. But for now, I'm going to get it. Maybe one more issue, then we're going to call it a day. Or I'm going to say, you know what? I'm on board. We're going to put it somewhere else. But for now, these books are on the fence. Where I'm on the fence about whether to keep getting these as part of my pull list. The books in question here are, well, issue 2 of Los Monstros. Only one issue in, so I'm not fully committed to this yet. Interesting story. Interesting so far, but not loving it. So we'll see here with issue 2. Same story for Superman Unlimited. I read issue 1, a lot of, a lot of backstory, and we're going to retell some old stuff, whatever. It was all right, but we'll see with issue 2 if I want to keep up with this, because for now, I don't know. We'll see. I know it's the summer of Superman after all, but we can't commit to everything. This one has a lot of covers, though. The other one only had the one. Superman, we got an A. We got a B by Lionel Francis Yu, which is pretty cool, kind of classic. We got a cover C, more classic soups. We got a D cover here with him and all that kryptonite. Because you remember that's kind of where they left us off with the last issue. 1 in 25, cool hat Superman. And then we have an Ashley Wood 1 in 50 here, which is kind of different. You don't see Wood doing Superman covers, usually Batman. But there we go. All right, another issue 2. Not sure if I'm going to keep going or not. Gwenpool. We'll see. So with this, we have a cover A, which is okay. Cover B, a little bit better. And cover C, which will probably be the one that I grab. This is the Lyrics Lee or Leslie Lee. So probably get this one. This is also the 1 in 50 Virgin incentive if you want to go that route and get the Virgin cover. So yeah, there you go with that. Those I'm on the fence about. We'll see whether I'm going to keep getting them or not. However, the next title I have in the next segment is I'm out. So with this one, I've decided I'm done. It's not going to be part of the poll anymore. I'm out, tapping out, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get this anymore. First one being, I was only in for a little bit just with that last story arc with the Legion of Doom. So I'm not on board for any more. World's Finest. There's just too many titles. And again, DC has a lot of good stuff out right now, but I can't buy everything. And this one is getting the cut. So I'm out on World's Finest. Here we do have a cover A, cover B, where it looks like Batman and Superman are stealing the fastball special from Wolverine and Colossus. I mean, it's only 50 years old after all, so why not steal it now? But okay. We got a C cover option here as well with a big mech Batman and Robin doing some gymnastics on top of it for some reason. I don't know. And then, as they love to do, we have our celebrity cover here on the World's Finest. This time out, it's Stephen Colbert, because apparently there's some sort of late night talk show on Gotham Tonight. So I guess that's their tie-in of why to do this now. Whatever. But these things sometimes get interest. I don't know. We'll see how this does. 1 in 25, though, is another option here. Yeah, it's all right. Not terrible, but yeah, I'm going to leave it on the shelf, personally. And with that said, here's some more books I'm going to be leaving on the shelf. Because, again, I have a budget, as I'm sure you do, too. Can't buy everything. So there's certain things I'm going to try to keep abreast of what's going on, or also point out what's going on for some of you guys. And I know that you like these titles, even if I'm not getting them personally. So, I mean, it's not all just about my personal pull list. This is about all the books coming out. So even though I'm not covering every single book that comes out, these are some highlights of things that I'm not getting, but I know a lot of you do like. And then one of them is Nightwing. And I've been in and out on Nightwing for a while. Been considering getting back in, but I just feel so lost with some backstory and some of the side characters. I don't know. So I'm not back on getting on board yet, but for now, I'm leaving it on the shelf. This is Nightwing 127. I did get that incentive variant because I really like the graffiti wall cover. No such luck of something that cool this time out, but cover A is all right. Cover B is kind of fun in that upside down kind of tiny scale, but yeah, it's unnecessary. I'm not really a fan of this C cover here, just the framing of it with the rearview mirror being on his head. It just should have shifted him a little bit. That's all. And then we do have a 1 in 25, which takes a really interesting angle as we get some nothing but Nightwing. Like, why do we need to frame it right there? Like, if this were the other way around, it'd be like the Minara cover. It'd be like a recall. But no, we're going like right up there doing a little rectal check here on Nightwing on this picture for some reason. I don't know. But there's your 1 in 25. This one, again, not for me. Too much ass. But with that said, we're going to move on to the next book I'm not going to be getting, and that is Fantastic Four Fanfare. Read the first issue, anthology-wise. There was like one okay story, and then I think like a meh, and then not good. I don't know. Regardless, I don't need more Fantastic Four stuff right now. I'm looking forward to the movie, but I've never been a big reader of Fantastic Four for a long time now. But with that said, we have this fanfare book, issue 2. A lot of good writers there involved, so there could be some good stuff in here, but we'll see. Cover A, cover B, which is a connecting cover here. I'll show you how it connects with last month's number 1. It actually goes top to bottom, so we'll see how the rest of it plays out. But right now, boom, boom. There is a C cover option here as well, so you can get that. Always doing that Fantastic Four logo with the characters. Always fun when they do that. And we got a 1 in 25 if you want to go that route. And there is a 1 in 50 hidden gem cover, which is meh. It's all right. Moving on. Spider stuff. Spider Venom stuff that I just can't. It's too much. Just can't. Spider-Verse versus Venomverse. Tapped out. Here we go. Issue 2 with our Cyclops Spider-Man. I forget what he's like. Weapon 8. Yeah. Something like that. Whatever. Cover A, B cover here. Actually, I like the 1 in 25. It's kind of a fun little nod there. You got the Ben Reilly baseball, and here you got the comics and toys and everything. You got CGC of ASM 300. It's kind of a little meta breakthrough comic shop sort of cover. Yeah, it's not bad. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which is just a version of that cover A, which is all right. But again, title is not for me, so I'm out. Just like I tapped out on Ultimates. Just can't read everything. You know, I'm trying to keep up with the regular Marvel universe. I can't be following the Ultimate universe that closely. Getting a title here too. We got like Spider-Man still, Wolverine. I'm still on the fence. But regular for this, the Ultimates. I mean, we're entering the second year. We're already on Ultimates 3.0 already. Like, what the hell, man? Like, it's issue 13. Are you already on the 3rd rendition of the team? Again, I haven't been reading it, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of baffled by that. Also, this blue marker cover. I don't know. Could do a little bit more to kind of hook me. I see this on a shelf, and I'm not reading this title. This ain't enticing me to pick this one up. I'm just saying. Then we got this option here. It's all right. Then we do have another one here. Maybe you're getting more attention with the big team and a lot more characters. I don't know. And then we got a 1 in 25, which is looks. It's a Greg Land, but Iron Man looks a little slight. Like either his head's too big or his legs are way too small. There's something about the perspective where the bottom half, since we're looking up, the bottom should be bigger and he gets smaller as it goes up, but it's actually reversed and the top half is bigger than it normally should be, despite the fact that we're looking up at him. I don't know. There's something weird about the perspective. It's kind of throwing me off. With that said, Weapon X-Men, another title. It's just not for me. You just take 3 characters that are popular. Look, there's 2 other guys on this team too. I'd be kind of pissed if I was Chamber or Warpath there or Proudstar. Like, why am I not included? Because on the front it just says Wolverine, Deadpool, Cable, yay, and other guys like their red shirts. I don't know. With that said, issue 5, 1 cover, 2nd cover. Pick it if you like. Whatever. Wolverine. So here we go. Wolverine number 10. This is Legacy issue 402. Not a bad cover here on the cover A. But like I said, I already tapped out the last issue. After we hit the anniversary issue, I was just, all right, I've had enough Wolverine. Again, I get bored too quickly with Wolverine solo stories. I don't know why. I just do. But with that said, we have 2 very similar looking other options for you with the big circles in the background. So we have this B cover with a big white background and a big circle. And then we have a 1 in 25, which I guess is because we're going to the land of the rising sun. I guess that's what we're going for. But they really should have spoken to the artist and say, well, one of you do this. We don't need both of you to do the same thing. Because then we got here with squatting Wolverine around a rising sun, I guess. I don't know. Just could have went a couple different routes with this. But those are books that I'm leaving on the shelf for now. And the next is our ongoing, up-to-date One World Under Doom, which is probably something else we should probably be leaving on the shelf these days because there are way too many parts of this storyline. Even the main storyline is not the greatest. It's gotten a little bit better, but I don't know. With that said, we've got a handful of books coming out small handful. I think like 3. All side issues, no main story, main core title issues for the book. But we do have the Avengers. So Avengers number 27 tying in. So we got Masters of Evil Part 3 tying in with this One World Under Doom. We got cover A. We got a Storm cover here, which is kind of cool. We got a whole team cover here if you want this one. And then we do have a 1 in 50, which is that Storm cover, but a virgin version of it if you want that. Cool. Tiger Division. Man, I just really wasn't into reading this. And I tapped out after 1, but we're already up to issue 4. So I don't know if this got any better, but I did not like issue 1. We do have a couple options for the covers. We got this open order cover A. We got an open order cover B. And then an open order cover C. So pick which one you like. There's a Ron Lim for you. Out of these, A and B look like the best choices, but I'm not getting it anyway, so it doesn't matter. To me, you get whichever one you like. And with that, Iron Man. So the Insurgent Iron Man Part 4, still tying in with One World Under Doom. Not bad, the cover A. Cover B is probably more my favorite, though I wish I would have seen a little more of his big-ass sword. But you know, we know Iron Man's got a big ass sword these days. But this is issue 9, tying in with One World Under Doom. Get it if you're into it. I'm again not keeping up to date with this title, so don't know what's going on in there. Next up, we have Godzilla versus Marvel, and man, most of these have not been good. Yeah, just haven't hit it yet. I'm still hoping we get a good one out of one of these because I am a fan of Godzilla. Even the movies, as cheesy as they are, the recent films, you know, they're creatures being in the middle of the earth, and yet there's light and all that stuff. I get it. Hidden Earth or whatever. I'm into it because it's silly. It's kaiju. It's Godzilla, for God's sakes. You got to suspend disbelief. That said, these have not been the most well-written of books. Some of these, like with him versus the Hulk and Spider-Man, whatever. This time out, we're getting the Avengers versus Godzilla. So, okay. Maybe be a little bit better. I'm still not a fan of when they just put these together. Like, this is a team shot of the Avengers, and then you just put Godzilla in the background. Like, this, they're not interacting in any way. It's just 2 separate images thrown together. But it is what it is. And this is the 5th one-shot out of 6. So we're getting 1 more after this, and then I think we're getting a whole nother miniseries featuring Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe or something. But here's a B cover. Not bad. A little bit better, I think, than A because he's kind of fighting. Even though the scale seems a little off, I'll give it a little bit of leeway. Then we got the fight posters, which are always fun. You got the Garbett fight posters. And my favorite is probably the foil, even though I don't like foil. But this Takeshi Okazaki is a really cool cover to me. It's cool looking in Godzilla. I like the scale with Iron Man right there, shoot him in the eye. I like this cover. That said, we got an Ultraman mixing it up here. So we got more kaiju fight. I think it's a poor choice to put Spider-Man in that spot where his leg is, where his arm is. Like, he almost blends in like we're doing a Where's Waldo. And I'm like, where's Spider-Man? He's hidden there in Ultraman for some reason. But then we've got that. We've got these throwback covers. It looks like a classic cover, but it's not a classic cover. But still pretty cool. And then we have this classic cover, which actually is an homage to a classic cover. This time out, I mean, this is Mike Allred doing this one. This is a callback to Godzilla, King of the Monsters. What issue was this? Issue 23. So, yeah, not a one. I mean, it's pretty good copy, right? Or homage, not copy, but you know what I'm saying. Then we do have a 1 in 25, which is all right. I mean, it's all right. Then we do have a 1 in 100, which is that Ultraman cover, but without all the silly trade dress, because that's what Marvel does. Now, I know you guys love it when I put new segments in here, so I decided we kind of needed something for this category. So I made a new one. And this is going to be the big finish. No, the show is not over. We still got a lot more to cover, even though we're 40 minutes in. This is storylines or miniseries arcs that are finishing up. So that's the idea behind this, because, you know, some of these you just might want to know. Or if you're seeing like an ongoing title ending or something like that, you might be interested in that. So I figured, you know what? Let's point those things out. So this week, wrapping up, we have Star Trek Omega wrapping up this 2.5-year storyline they've been telling with Defiant and regular Star Trek title, I guess. I don't read Star Trek comics, so I don't really know what's going on, but whatever they've been doing the last couple of years, it's all wrapping up here. So big finish, Star Trek Omega #1. Cover A, you got to cover B, and you got to cover C here. So pick whichever one you like, and there you go. Also, wrapping up in what seems like forever, Aliens versus Avengers. I like the first issue a lot. I don't know if I've read the rest of them because they're really coming out like every couple of months. But we are seeing the end of the storyline here at issue 4, so I'm going to probably go back and read the whole thing now, start to finish, because I did like the first issue. I just didn't like the 2-month gap in between issues because I kind of forgot. And I just decided at that point, I was going to wait for it to end, and I'll read them all. So with that, the finale is coming out. Cover A, we got a pretty solid cover B here. I like this with the little glow stick and Spidey, and then you got all the xenomorphs all around them. Cool cover. And then we do have just a 1 in 25. So thankfully, they didn't overdo it with covers, and Wolverine getting some acid on him, which, yeah, cool. Not bad. Spidey is probably my favorite. That's probably the one I'm going to grab for this personally. And with that, I got one more that's wrapping up. So the big finish of Epitaphs from the Abyss, one of those EC horror titles. So issue 12, wrapping this up. I think they're going to be coming back with more and other series, etc. So fear not. While this is ending, one door closes, another one opens. But here we go, closing the chapter on issue 12 of Epitaphs. Cover A, we got a cover B, we got a 1 in 10, we got a 1 in 20, which is a sketchish version of that B cover. And then we have a chapter page look for the 1 in 50. Again, still just not my favorite for those. I know, I get it. It's giving you a hint of what's inside and all, but not for a 1 in 50. This feels more like a 1 in 10. That said, those are the things that are wrapping up. On the opposite side of things, let's now look at new number ones that are starting this week. So, with that, we've got a handful of new titles from the big publishers, etc. to look at. What do we got first here? First off, we're going to start on not one of the big two. We're going to start over on Dark Horse with The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, Children of the Night. So another volume, another story arc opening for this Christopher Chaos story. I'm not up to date on this, so this is not a title that I read. If it's good, please let me know in the comments down below. But we are getting the start of a new miniseries of sorts for this title from Dark Horse. So cover A, we got a cover B, we got a cover C, and we have a cover D. All open order. Pick whichever one you like, and there you go. Continue your oddly pedestrian life of Christopher Chaos. Also, over on the Spawn side of things, if there's not enough Spawn universe titles for you, guess what? We got another one for you. Bloodletter. So, all right, some sort of a CIA operative. Could be cool. I don't know. I don't read Spawn either, so I don't know what's going on in their universe. But Spawn universe title, issue 1, Bloodletter. We just got cover A, and we got a weird, dark sketch cover. It's odd choice for that brown, maroonish. I guess it's supposed to be blood. I don't know. It's just so dark. I don't know. Those are your options, though. We also got 2 options for this AWA book. They chose violence. So I'm not reading this whole little thing, something about revenge against the justice system, fighting back. This cover's not bad. I like the cover A, but the cover B looks like a movie poster, and I'm always a sucker for a good movie poster, and this has a fun little callback homage to it. So, yeah, I forget what title this was. It almost looks like Superfly or Coffee. Not sure which one. I probably should have researched it before I put this one up, but I did realize this is an homage to a movie poster. If you know which movie poster, put it in the comments down below so I don't have to do extra work. But I do like it. With that said, boom. Yeah, boom box. The Last Witch, Blood and Betrayal. Starting off with another series here. We got a cover A with this. We got a cover B. And then we've got an unlockable version of that cover A if they order enough. And then we've got a 1 in 10 black and white of that cover B. So there you go. Those are your options for The Last Witch. Marvel has decided, you know what? We don't have enough Jeff the Land Shark in our lives, so let's start up a series. Forget all of the reprints of the online storylines. Forget all of the one-shots. Now we're getting a series for Jeff the Land Shark. I don't know, folks. I don't know if this is needed or necessary. I get it. I like Jeff, too. He's a fun character. But in small amounts, this might be a bit too much. We'll see. We'll see. I'm probably not going to read this, but if it's good, please tell me. But I'm not looking forward to this. This isn't something I was, clamoring for. Like, give me more Jeff the Land Shark solo stories. But all right, whatever. A, sketch, FF cover, cool. Art Germ giving us a pretty cool, looks like the Marvel Rivals from the game. Then we got a foil edition, which is kind of fun. Eating an Infinity Stone off the Infinity Gauntlet. Looks like a butterscotch. You're right, it does. That one should be foil, so that'd be fun. Then we got this other option here. So this one looks like cutouts of characters or stickers put on there. We got a 1 in 25. So if you want to go that route, you got a 1 in 25. And then we'll take that Art Germ and make it a Virgin 1 in 100 because we're Marvel and that's what we do. Now, Marvel is also giving us a fan favorite Star Wars character with a new series. So Dr. Aphra, Chaos Agent, is starting up here. This one could do well. I'm curious. I'm going to give this one a look-see. We have cover A, not my favorite. We have the Force Awakens 10-year anniversary cover. Not bad. I'm probably going to end up getting the cover C here, just because I don't really like the Luke cover. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to get the D cover. That's right. This one. This Luke cover is the one I'm probably going to get. It's got like an anime, manga kind of vibe, but it's the open order cover that I'll probably get a hold of because I'm not going to spend up the money that's going to take to get the 1 in 25, as this is already sold out in a lot of places, and it's already commanding a premium on the aftermarket before the market. So pre-sale market, I guess that's it. It's already going like double ratio a little bit. So we'll see if that holds. But for now, the 1 in 25 is doing well. I do like it. It almost made my cop covers of the week, but it just kind of missed out. It's just, I know it's got that kind of vibe. Call back to the Catwoman with the mugshot. But, I think the problem I had with it was that we have the 1 in 25, but then Marvel decided to double dip and also make this their 1 in 100 Virgin version, which I don't think was necessary. I think we just had one, it would have been fine. But then you put both of them out there. I don't know if we needed both. Like this seemed like a situation. You want to do the Virgin? That'll be your second print 1 in 25 variant that you'll get people to go and buy it for. Making it the 1 in 100. I don't know. You could have made one of the other covers the 1 in 100. Just saying. All right. With that, DC now. Summer of Superman, because, hey, Marvel's giving us Jeff the Landshark. Why should we be surprised that DC is pushing crypto to the ends of the earth? I get it. You're hoping he's going to be a breakout character from this movie, but Jesus, the movie hasn't even come out yet. I think the push is a little strong, a little early. I mean, yes, I still have my dog biscuits, but I don't know. I don't know what we're getting out of this this comic book, but we're getting it. Cover A, there is a sketch cover in case you want to get your crypto sketches. And then we've got this open order cover, which ain't bad. So I guess it's all right if you want crypto. Anyway, speaking of crypto, let's hold that thought and get on to facsimiles, because our first facsimile is going to be of crypto, because DC is also doing a weird polybag for a facsimile for the premiere of the Superman movie. Granted, we don't have a lot of time left, so get out there and get your books and get them open, because inside this facsimile of Adventure Comics 210, first appearance of crypto, it's polybag. You might get like a golden dog biscuit ticket or something that we're looking for. Golden biscuit sweepstakes. Basically, you could get a chance to attend the world premiere of James Gunn's Superman movie. Again, I don't know how we're going to find out if there's going to be a winner in like a week or 2 weeks, or, we don't have a lot of time. The movie's coming out in less than a month, and this book is coming out. Like, you really should have thought of this ahead of time and given people, because some of these aren't going to get open because people they want to keep their polybag sealed. So who knows if anybody's going to get a hold of this golden ticket. It'll be an interesting concept, interesting to see what happens. But yeah, that's what they're doing with this facsimile. Speaking of facsimiles, well, 619. Are we done yet with these Hush facsimiles? I hope so. But we got them, and we got the foil versions of them if you want to do that. Just go get the regulars. They're affordable. You don't need a facsimile. But with that said, Liefeld, I didn't know where else to put this. This is sort of a reprint, sort of a facsimile, but not, because it's got all new words. But the words aren't much better. I read the first one. I know a lot of you had some thought. We had some fun going through the first one. Probably should go through the second one at this point because now we got issue 3. Maybe we'll do this on tack and we'll do a little catch up on Rob Liefeld's new Youngblood and see the big changes with these all new words. I don't know. But yeah, there will be a foil edition too if you want to get your shiny foil version on. There you go. We can get that. And if you really want to get crazy, well, get the 1 in 25 black and white version of it. Then we'll just take all the color and shiny foil off of it. All right. Now, that said, this is a good option for a facsimile because many people can't afford Fantastic Four 49. Great book. One of my favorites. Yeah. So getting a facsimile of this makes a lot of sense. Now, they're not offering a foil version for some reason, which I'm surprised, but they are giving us new cover art by Mike Mayhew, which, again, ain't bad, but it seems unnecessary. I said it the last time because they did this on issue 48 where they gave us, and I bought it because, well, Fantastic Four 48 for Silver Surfer is one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite characters, so I went and got the stupid facsimile 1 in 25 because it had different cover art. But it didn't make sense of why they focused it on Galactus because this is really the Galactus book. The other book was more Surfer. This should have been the book, but whatever. Probably should have flip-flopped these covers. This should have been the cover to 48. 48 should have been the cover for 49. With that said, let's move it on and look at other later printings. So here are some other reprints that you might be in the market for if you are trying to play catch-up. We're going to start it off with a handful of absolute Batmans in case you somehow didn't get a hold of these the first time out. We got more for you. So issue 5 needs a second. Issue 6 has a second. And guess what? Issue 7 has a second. Issue 9 just came out. But apparently we need second prints for everything because, I don't know, I feel like there's still plenty of first prints still out there. Why we need these second prints, I don't know. But we're getting them. Just like The Curse of Shirley Johnson. All right. New art. Can't go wrong there. I like when they put new art on stuff. I don't think this is from inside. But there's a second print for that. And Exquisite Corpses is giving us a second print. Again, you want to play catch up? It's a good read. So go pick this up. This is also a fun wraparound cover if you want to go and grab that. It looks kind of fun. Like, there you go. You got all these characters going head to head. And then there's even an incentive. And apparently the incentive, I think, might even be polybagged with a card. I don't know what card is going to be for this game. I don't know if it's going to be a different card or this is a different version of the first card that was already in the first issue. That part I don't know. But apparently what I was reading, there'll be a card with the second print incentive. Could make it hard for you OCD collectors that got to get everything. So keep that in mind if you're out there hunting. Now, Energon Universe, they double dip with all their second printings. Again, I don't know why we need second printings for all these, but we're getting them. Issue 5 of G.I. Joe has a Joe and a Cobra option. Transformers, well, Transformers 15, second print, has an Autobot and a Decepticon version. So pick your poison if you need these. But we're going to keep it rolling with the George Perez Legacy variant covers. These look like trading cards, but we're still getting more of them. I kind of like them though, and that's not a slight to say they look like trading cards. It's kind of a fun way that they look like trading cards. But here we have Wonder Woman, classic, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. With the trading cards, you're looking for a classic image, iconic kind of image, just, very simple, straightforward. It's Wonder Woman. Same thing with Zatanna here. Cool. Classic Perez. So we only got like 4 of those so far. I don't know how many they're planning to do, but there you go. We're going back because we didn't have any last week, but this week we do have a couple of DC Pride variants. So for Pride Month, we do have a couple of DC covers that are coming out this week. Starting off first with, was it Batman or Robin, I think? No, Detective. It was Detective 1098. You got Robin right there being featured. Then Wonder Woman also getting a cover here as well with some Amazons. Cool. Superman movie. Yes, we know it's coming. Crypto book here, crypto book there. Whatever. We're getting covers for these randomly thrown out there every once in a while. This week, we're getting another one. I think this was on the crypto book, and it's actually a pretty solid cover because I think this is a Dan Mora doing crypto and Superman. So if you're going to get crypto, this is probably the cover to get. Well, it's also Dan Mora, which I like, but yeah, I don't know, it's not bad. Also for Pride Month, no Marvel Pride books, but we do have a Star Wars this week. So we have, of the 4, there's only going to be 4 Star Wars Pride books, but of the 4, here's the 3rd issue in the run or the collection of these variants. We have Afra. So Afra is getting the treatment that she gets every year. Every year we get these Pride variants. We got an Afra. So on Afra number 1, makes sense. Spotlight Afra. And like I said, this is the 3rd of this set. One more to come, with Sabe coming next week. So, moving on, iconic Todd Nauck covers. I don't know why this is a thing or why we're still doing these, but we are. So, not me like covering them, but why Marvel is still making them. I'm covering them because Marvel is making them, but they're still throwing these out every once in a while. We didn't even get to talk about this book yet. We'll get to it in a minute. This is Bring on the Bad Guys Doom, because yes, they got to Bring on the Bad Guys title. One shot coming out, and that's the start of a handful of one shots. But here's the iconic Doom cover. All right, it's fine. And then we have an iconic Jeff the Landshark. Okay, it is what it is. Man, that Marvel Rivals game really upped his profile to the nth degree. So I'll just say that. And speaking of Rivals, we do have some Rivals covers this week. So with that, let's take a look at the Rivals we've got. I think our first one with those Peach Momoko design covers for this time. We got another on Amazing Spider-Man, so issue 6. It looks like Penny Parker. Cool. And then on that Doom book, again, here's another Doom book. We haven't even gotten to this yet. We've got another character design here. I forget who the hell is it. This looks like Hela, but redone. Cool. We are almost done with these. It says the last one is going to be Daredevil Cold Day in Hell number 3, but that don't come out till like late July. So we might have to get back to this later, or we'll probably forget about it by then. But there you go with the Marvel Rival covers for this month. The Fantastic covers are also Mr. Fantastic. Thankfully, they didn't give us many of these. There's only a handful for the entire month, but we're almost done with these as well, as we're getting another couple this week. We've only had like 1 or 2 stretched out over the month, but here we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 6, where you got Spidey all stretched out. We've got Gwenpool also getting the Mr. Fantastic treatment. And then finally, on the West Coast Avengers, we've got Iron Man, which you can hardly tell that he's being all stretchy. Just saying. It's hard to kind of make that out. But it is what it is. And it is one of those Mr. Fantastic variants. And as I said, we'll check those 3 off. We only had 1 before. We got 1 left, and that's Deadpool coming out next week. Now, Phineas and Ferb over at Disney, they decided to celebrate with some Marvel covers. We had that Magic homage on the first one. I think it was on that Magic book. Our next one, out of only like 3 or 4 of these, Avengers 27, we've got, here we go. We got the characters, again, call back to Nick Fury, Strange Tales, what is that, 167? It's not bad. Fun, I guess. I'm not a big Phineas and Ferb guy, so I don't know much about this, but there we go. 2 covers down. We'll get in one next week on Fantastic Four 33, and then apparently the final cover will be revealed at some point. I haven't seen the reveal as of yet. I mentioned Bring on the Bad Guys. Let's get to these because there are some good ones this week. I actually do like a handful of these. There's a handful coming out, and many of them are good, in my opinion. These Bring on the Bad Guy variants. Starting off with, I think we're going to start off with Spider-Man. And this one has Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. Not bad. Solid Goblin Spidey fight. Avengers. Skull. Sam Wilson. This one's okay, but I like the pile of bodies. This was okay. Maybe not my top favorite, but some of these are good. Madam Mask with Iron Man here is not bad on Iron Man. Here's another, not so much for me. All the Emma Frost White Queen covers, her here with the Maestro. This ain't the best, but it's out there. We got the Fantastic Four fanfare. So you got Thing fighting Mole Man. Still a pretty solid Thing and Mole Man. I really like the Moon Knight facing Taskmaster. This is a really good cover. I like this one for the bad guys this week. And then finally, Wolverine fighting Bullseye. Also, another pretty solid cover. Oh, that's not the last one. There's still one more. X-Men. Can't forget about X-Men fighting Carnage of all people. So yeah, like I said, this one also, but half of them were pretty good in my opinion. The other half were not bad. And with that, there's another huge chunk of these checked off. We got 5 more for next week to wrap up that whole run. I will have a short for these recent covers that'll drop, I think, on Wednesday. But now let's get to that Doom book. So this is the part 1 of 7 villainous one-shots. I really love these idea of connecting one-shots. But here we go. Bring on the bad guys, Doom. Lee Bermejo, good cover. There's an Eastman on the B. If you like Kevin Eastman, there you go. Apparently, this Sister Sorrow character is going to be introduced here, so this could be of note. People might go looking for this cover because it's a newer character. I don't think she's newer because I don't know this character. I haven't read anything about Sister Sorrow, so I'm assuming she's new. And then we've got a Miguel Mercado cover, also not bad. Looks like a hardback, like for an omnibus about Doom. That's what that cover kind of looks like to me. As is this kind of throwback classic bad guys. You got Mephisto in the background. Also kind of a fun look. Then we got a design cover here for Sister Sorrow. We want to go that way. On a 1 in 10. There is a 1 in 25, which is an homage. Here we got Reed fighting Doom. Enough said, right? Just like the classic Hulk versus Thing cover. Enough said from back in the day. Cool. And then for the 1 in 100, we'll take the Sister Sorrow cover. Shouldn't be surprised that that's going to be our Virgin 1 in 100 cover here. And, yeah, perhaps there's some interest in this in the aftermarket. We'll see. But for now, those are our options there. As we're coming near the end, I know we're coming in close to an hour. Cheesecake covers. Not a lot this week, but we do have a few that we can cover here in the cheesecake cover section. While some of those other covers with the Catwoman's and whatnot we got covered here before, we're going to leave it here for the Zenescope books to start us off. Grim Fairy Tales 97. Boom. We got one. We got 2. That's a pretty nice cover, though. I kind of like it. And then we have another option here, which is also going to be our 1 in 20, a naughty version, or naughtier version, I guess. More risque. And if you want to go and hunt these down, these are difficult to find because, again, they're 1 in 20s and it's a niche collectible. Not tons of these printed. So good luck. We also have this book at a Zenescope, Legends Summer 2025. I didn't cover all the covers here. I just went with the more cheesecakey covers. That first one not being so much of one, but here we go. Eating an apple. Cool. It's really more about this one here with a royal cover. Yes, this is the open order one, and then there is a 1 in 20, which will be a little more, again, a little more risque. We'll take some of that off. Cool. Cool. Red Sonja versus Army of Dark. Wait, that's old. Skip that. That's not supposed to be in there. Old slide. Classic bad girl from the 90s. She Haikyo, if I'm saying that properly. I don't know. I'm not. But pretty cool cover by Bill Tucci here. I do like this cover A. There is a classic look to the B cover here. Are you ready for Asuka? God, it's not Asuka, but I don't know. Just felt like saying that because I am ready for Asuka. Monday Night Raw. Asuka's back. Looking forward to that tonight. With that said, this one's not an open order cover. This one's more expensive, but another solid cover here. I want to say this one costs like 10 or 20 bucks on the outset. I can't remember. Some of these publishers are doing this, I shouldn't say new thing, but they're just premium priced covers, I guess. Not incentives so much. They're just premium priced. But those are your She covers. Pick one if you like them. This one I just had to put here because it kind of fits just that sort of not suitable for work section. But I do enjoy Money Shot. And here we have Tim Seeley and Patton Oswalt giving us the next mini series here of our Triple X Explorers. This title's just fun. I don't know. I just like it. It's just fun. Yes, it's not appropriate for everyone, but issue 2, cover A. There's a 1 in 5 cover B option here. Looks like we're in some galactic strip club. And then we do have, I can't even find the cover that's supposed to be covering the covers, but there will be some polybag covered censored versions. 3 of them, I believe. that they're like $6 or $7 or maybe more. I don't know, but they will be covered. But I didn't have any even examples of what the cover will look like. But there'll be 3 of those to keep an eye out for as well if you want to get those naughty covers. With that said, and speaking of covers, here's just a random selection of covers that I like this week. Are you ready for this? Because there's actually a good bit, because there were a lot of good covers this week that I just thought were worth mentioning and worth calling out. Starting off with this Titans cover by Homar. I don't know. We got Terra. Just cool cover. The yellow also draws the eye, makes it pop. Wonder Woman here. Yes, this is fine with the little mouse dude, Daniel Sampere, the cover A. Not bad. Sort of setting up the story that we're going to be featuring Mouse Man. But the other covers here maybe fit more. We got a Nakayama with Steve Trevor. Not bad. We got a Jeffrey Spokes. Also pretty good. And then we got a Serge Acuna on the 1 in 25 option here. So if any of those float your boat, go pick them up. Zatanna. Near the end. So we might find this in the big finish eventually. But issue 5, the Jamal Campbell, just good covers. And then we have this Lozano cover here. Also like it, the Disney princess style look. Almost put this in as one of my favorites of the week. But for, I don't know, debating between this one and the Sebastian Fiumara, I thought this one just captured my eye more. I was just more drawn into looking at this a little bit longer. So I went with the Sebastian for one of my favorites of the week. Tell me if I'm wrong, but the Lozano's good, but I went with the Sebastian. And 1 in 25, we got a Zoe Thorogood sitting on the house of cards. Kind of a fun cover, kind of a fun look. Cold Witch. So this one fits here. The Cold Witch cover. I mean, it's a little bit, feels almost like a Bad Girl book from the back in the day by Will Sliney. And then he has been giving us these popsicle covers. Granted, this has nothing to do with the segment. So also don't know why we have the facsimile background here. That's a mistake on my part. We're in covers, not facsimile. I think I think I clicked the wrong one. My bad. But with that said, 1 in 10 Fudgicle. Who's going to say wrong? Who said no to a Fudgicle cover? Deadly Tales of Gunslinger Spawn. I know it doesn't say Gunslinger Spawn, but that's who it is. Generic. I don't even want to try to say it. It's just a fun cover, as is the B cover. I'm not reading this title, but these covers are not bad. Just like I'm not reading West Coast Avengers, but I tell you, they do good cover work. The Ben Harveys have been great. And even getting the Godtail mixed in every now and then, can't go wrong there. Granted, there's a lot going on in this Godtail that it was a little bit confusing to try to make out all the, kind of the webbing and the mech stuff, but it's still pretty cool. And then finally, Emma Frost, White Queen, is coming out with a new title this week. And I don't know what this title's about, but it's going to be about covers. Because here's a Nakayama. We got a Josh Sway, also pretty cool. We got a Joelle Jones option here as well. Not bad. We got a foil. If you want to go with a foil route, we got you a foil by Riki Yagawa. Greg Land. Well, this just looks, I think he pulled this from like some old Playboy video or something, like a VHS tape, because, well, the old stories about Land. But yeah. Negative Space. This one's probably going to be popular this week too, as you can see why. 1 in 25 Greg Land. And then we also do have a 1 in 100, which is going to be that Swaby, but without the trade dress. Cool. With that said, those were good, but they are not the best of the week. This week's best of the week, in my opinion, my humble opinion, you can disagree with me all you like. Please let me know what you think is their favorite of the week. But for my money, these are my 2 favorites of the week, because I'll do 1 incentive and 1 non-incentive. And for the incentive, I mentioned it earlier. Whatever reason, I really like this Damian Scott cover. It's got that kind of bubble graffiti kind of vibe to it. I just dig it. I just like it. So this one's my favorite. It just sticks with me, but I like this cover. I don't know. I know it's probably not going to be everybody's favorite. For whatever reason this week, it's my favorite. 1 in 25. And then I'm a sucker for Dan Panosian. So yes, I'm biased. And the Dan Panosian regular Catwoman cover is one of my favorites of the week, if not my favorite. So Dan Panosian, right up there. Him and Ivan Talavera these days are kind of fighting over my top spot of favorite artists right now. So with that said, that's the show for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Sorry, this one again is running kind of late, but it takes a while to put this thing together and for the edit to run. Like the edit takes a long time. And with that said, I'm wrapping this up at 8 o'clock. So hopefully I get this done and out to you guys before midnight so you can get your head start on your Wednesday new releases. And with that, thanks for all your support and thanks for checking this out. Let me know what you think and make recommendations in the comments down below. As you see, I listen to you guys. I'll take your recommendations and try out your books and put them out there for everybody if we need to. And with that, thanks for stopping by and hanging out, and I'll see you all later with some more content. All right, later.